had on it. And transferring here, it really, for me, going into the transfer portal, I wanted to be somewhere that had a familiar environment. I didn't want to go somewhere where it was going to be unfamiliar, just have to learn a new whole environment and everything. So coming back here, I felt like it was just the best place to fit myself around a great group of people to push me to reach that next level.
And the transition from running back to linebacker?
Oh yeah, the transition from running back to linebacker, it took a lot of thought, but just long term as of like longevity in the league, and then just looking back how I played linebacker in high school, just willing to take on a new challenge.
When you went in the portal, did you know you were going to switch positions to linebacker, or did you go in the portal with an open mind? I could play running back somewhere else, I could play linebacker somewhere else?
So the crazy thing is, I went into the portal with a really open mind, just to see what all the schools, so just to maximize my options of schools and whatnot. And once it came down to it and evaluating it, I just felt State was the best decision for me.
Chip, it looked like maybe had you stayed at ASU, it could have opened up for you to be maybe more of a featured running back, to get more work. Like, how did you kind of weigh that as you were deciding what your next move was going to be?
I didn't weigh it as much. You know me. I bet on myself all the time. So with me, it's just me and my work ethic. So it wasn't that position change or where I was at on the depth chart really didn't affect me, because I know I just worked so hard. So it's hard for me not to be on the field. So that really didn't play into effect. I just wanted to come here and compete for a national championship.
Did someone come to you and say, hey, I think maybe you might have better long-term potential on defense, or did you come to that realization yourself?
No. My coaches back here, back home from Hoban, and then just everybody I trained with, they kind of been in my ear about that ever since I entered college. So it's always been in the back of my mind. So, I mean, now it's at the forefront and I'm living it. So, yeah.
Do you know which linebacker spot would fit you best yet?
Honestly, no, I don't know. I'm just coming in, keep my head down, just working every day, and just want to be at the best spot where I can help the team the most out.
How early in this process did you make contact with Steel Chambers? Because obviously he did what you're trying to do just a year ago.
Honestly, me and Steel really didn't talk throughout the whole transfer portal, but we walked by each other, just catch up in the weight room and whatnot in the hallways and stuff. But great guy, he's done great things in his transition over, so I'm definitely looking at film from that too.
So have you asked for his advice or gotten any advice from him about what to do, maybe especially in these early days as you're making that transition?
No, not yet, because like I said, I played defense all throughout high school, so that defense and nature and instinct is still in me. So I'm just willing to see, waiting to see how spring ball come around and just see how I compete against the other guys.
Chip, obviously, Jim Knowles, that's linebacker is his room, and I'm curious. I mean, he takes a lot of ownership. That's kind of the face of where the change is happening defensively and things like that. So I'm curious. I mean, is that a level of pressure? Is it, or is it kind of a guy that you're like, if I'm going to be a top tier linebacker, that's the guy I want to change me? Like, what is your relationship like with Jim Knowles?
Our relationship with Coach Knowles is good. Coach Knowles is doing a real good job of getting to know all the linebackers on the staff. Just going in, all of us one-on-one, and just evaluating them. Each of us getting to pick his brain and whatnot. So I think he'll be definitely a great addition to this, and I feel it's good because everybody's on a clean slate. It's a fresh new start for everybody, and everybody will learn defense at the same time. So the best will play.
Have you guys had a linebackers position meeting with Jim yet, or is that later on?
Nah, later on down the line. Yeah.
Was he the one who recruited you? Like, who from OSU reached out to you once you went to the portal?
Once I reached out to the portal, it was Coach Day, Coach Alford, and Coach Washington.
I know that, Coach Alford, I know you guys had a close relationship when you were, in high school. And how much did that kind of encourage you to want to come here?
It encouraged me a lot because Coach Alford always been real with me from the jump. He's just one of those coaches that always had my genuine interest, even when I decided to go out to Arizona State. So just having that relationship in my back pocket the whole time while I was gone, and even once I entered the transfer portal, it meant a lot, and it helped me in the process of picking out State.
Coming into high school, what impressions of a guy like C.J. Hicks? He's somebody who's been highly touted coming in as a true freshman. What have your impressions of him been like?
CJ is a hell of a player. Like his room to grow is off the charts. Like he comes in, he works, and just to have his work ethic as a freshman is great. So I think CJ will do great things here at Ohio State.
Just building off of that, you mentioned Jim Knowles. Have you sensed like a buzz about kind of like the weight room and whatnot of like getting a new defensive coordinator because Ohio State's, Ryan Day even mentioned it the other day. It's kind of a fresh start for the defense. Do you get that sense at all?
Yeah, we get the sense, but us, we working every day. The season didn't turn out here like how they wanted to, so we're striving every day to push as hard as we can be and get 1% better every day and get our goals.
Maybe what differences have you noticed here so far from being at Arizona State?
The differences I notice here is just really the culture. I say the culture is a big difference. Just that winning culture and just coming to compete every day. And expectations are very, very high. That's what I'm normally used to. That's normally what what my standards were coming from Akron Holman. So it feels right being in an environment like this.
Is it just a different level? I mean, is there a different, but just with players and coaches, a different level of desire to win than maybe you saw at Arizona State?
It's just higher. I would say it's just higher goals and actually seeing those goals and actually just working to get them every day. Yeah.
You said that that they didn't meet expectations last year and they're trying to get back to where they need to be. You weren't here last year. Does that kind of rub off on you? Are you feeling that already? That that they didn't reach the expectations?
Yeah.
Even though you weren't there, you kind of now understand exactly where you need to be?
Yeah, it definitely rubs off on me because, even when I was at Arizona State, I always kept my eye on Ohio State because I'm an Ohio guy. So, you always root for the home team. But it definitely rubs off on me coming from Ohio because I know the expectations of playing football here at the Ohio State University. So it's definitely going to be a good offseason, and we're ready to work.
How quickly did Ryan Day, Tony Alford, and Al Washington reach out to you after you entered?
Pretty quickly they laid it out for me that defense was the opportunity on the table, and after some days of thought, I took it.
How is the winter workouts? How have they been thus far? We're talking to a number of freshmen who are doing this for the first time.
Yeah.
You're doing it for the first time here, but you've been through this before. How do you feel like that's gone for you this far?
Nah, it feels good. I feel like I'm emptying the tank every day. So that's a good thing, and I feel like I'm getting 1% better every day. So just staying consistent in what I do in the weight room and what I do on the field and what I do in the locker room. So the winter trainings has been very good, and it's just getting started. So I'm excited.
How different is it lifting for a linebacker than it was for in college?
Not really, because I didn't really limit myself. I try to go my max every single day. So it really wasn't no transition weight room wise there. So yeah.
There's a lot of linebackers on this roster, and there's only 2 starting spots now. Two deep spots really anymore. Do you feel that competition already? Does it feel kind of crowded in there that the guys are fighting for Scant?
No, it doesn't feel kind of crowded. Everybody on the defense just know at the end of the day what needs to be done coming off of last year, and everybody is just pushing each other to work hard and just to be the best that they can be for the overall team success.
Do you have the option to go back to running back if things don't work out at linebacker?
I don't know yet. That's something we haven't discussed. Right now, I'm full forward, 100% into playing linebacker here. So
you must have incredible confidence because you took a sure thing wherever you played it at running back, and you're just in the middle of your career. You're doing this you're not at Iowa State or Middle Tennessee State. What are some of the people telling you? Like, are you out of your mind, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's been a lot of support, like I said earlier, just from people that coming out of high school I should have went to the defensive side of the ball. So it's been a lot of support, and that's definitely helped with my confidence and my abilities here. So yeah.
Why didn't you go to defense right out of high school? Like what?
I feel like coming out of high school, I just wasn't ready to give up the ball yet. Coming out of high school, especially playing both ways my whole life really, but scoring touchdowns is definitely it's a feeling like you'll never experience again. But I'm looking forward to scoring touchdowns as well and making big plays on the defensive side now. So.
And coming out of high school too, how close were you to picking Ohio State, committing? Like, how close were they versus Arizona State?
It was very close. It was literally Ohio State and Arizona State. So it was very close.
And I know people said they thought maybe defense linebacker was your best position in high school. For people who didn't maybe see you play, what did you think you did really well as a high school linebacker that you can kind of pick up again, like kind of riding a bike?
I feel like my defensive instincts and playing downhill fast, very, very fast, that's what I pride myself on defense, is just reading and reacting. So just no matter where you at, just going all out, 100% effort every play, trying to make a play on the ball.
Did Ohio State like you both ways initially, or was it solely as a linebacker, solely as a running back?
Initially coming out of high school, it was kind of my pick, but I didn't really know for sure. So I think that might have swayed me to Arizona State more. But
and was there any programs out there that solely wanted you at linebacker out of high school, or was it always both?
It was always both. It was always either or my pick, just from my abilities on both sides.
CJ was telling us about a meeting with Coach Washington where he was talking to you guys something about linebackers are going to go shock the world or something like that. And then the next day, he was gone.
Yeah.
What kind of happened that next day? How did you guys regroup? Did Coach Day come and have a meeting with you guys about the change? How did that all play out?
No, we found out how everybody else did, really, but we knew it was the best for Coach Washington. We knew expectations wasn't met here last year, so that's why we brought in a whole new defensive staff. And like I said earlier, everybody's just putting in the work every day just to get back to those goals and expectations of winning a national championship this year.
How did you guys, I mean, when you hear that news, you can speak, I guess, just for yourself, maybe not for the whole room, but does it feel like something got interrupted, now we don't have direction? Did some other coach had to come say something to you guys, or is that just, you just kept the plan that you already had?
No, I feel like a lot of us kept the plan that we already had, because it's a lot of dogs in that linebacker room, like I said. So it's a lot of good guys, and like you said earlier, it's only 2 linebacker positions. So we're doing everything we can to push each other every day, and like I said, the best players will play for the overall team success.
When you were at Arizona State, was there ever a thought in your mind where, like, hey, I kind of miss playing defense, like I kind of want to go back to that?
A little bit. I say a little bit when I was definitely had a couple opportunities to tackle some people on special teams. It definitely came back into my mind, because on defense you can let out a little bit of frustration. Unlike you can't do that on offense. But yeah, some plays at Arizona State, yeah, it came back into my mind.
About any eye openers since you got here? Like, wow.
The snow. The snow again. Dealing with the snow again, yeah.
More coming.
Yeah, more coming. Yeah.
Was that a bummer? It's like, I'll put up with it.
Nah, I missed it. I just don't got the ideal car for it, but I missed it. So it took me a couple of days to adjust, but I'm back to it.
What are you driving?
Little Ford Fusion.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much are you looking forward to getting out on the field? Of course, you mentioned Ohio State was one of your finalists. You grew up in Ohio. Getting a chance to play at a stadium like that as the home team.
Yeah.
What is that going to mean?
It's going to mean a lot for me. Just coming back here, it's always a different feeling where you're playing at home. And just to know a lot of my support and fan base is here, and just to know I have a lot of support at every games, and just being able to play in the shoot almost every week, it's definitely a good feeling, and it'll bring the best out of me every weekend.
Was your family able to travel a lot to the games out there?
Oh, so my whole family, they actually moved out to Arizona. So they'll be traveling back and forth for the games this season.
So now they have to travel further.
Yeah.
Did they move out when you moved to Arizona State?
Yeah, so they moved out probably about 6 months after I arrived.
Just because you were there and they wanted the warm weather?
Yeah, exactly. Escape this, yeah.
Do you miss the warm weather at all?
Some days I do. But I mean, weather at the end of the day doesn't play a factor. It's all the mental thing. So